ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है।
We welcome all of you to today's class on Śrīmad-Bhāgavad Gita. We are studying third chapter, verse 12 onwards. In this chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is answering Arjuna's questions, in which Arjun had asked that please tell decisively that what is my ultimate benefit, what is my Shreya. He had asked this in the second chapter also, and Bhagavan had explained at great length in the second chapter, but Arjun's mind was confused whether he should perform his prescribed duty or give up everything and take sannyas, because Bhagavan had spoken about two nishthas. So Bhagavan is answering Arjuna's questions, and Bhagavan's focus is on that Arjun should follow Karma Yoga, In the previous many
कर्म किए
verses,
बगैर
Bhagavan explained
व्यक्ति जीवित भी नहीं
that
रह सकता है,
without
इसलिए
performing
कर्म
karma,
करना चाहिए।
person cannot even
नित्यं
live.
कर्म कुरु त्वं
That's why
कर्म ध्यायति
prescribed karma
यज्ञं।
should be performed.
और फिर वो कर्म जो है वो यज्ञ के लिए करना
And the
चाहिए।
karma should be
यज्ञ
performed for yajna.
आजकल
This
के
is
लोग तो यज्ञ
important.
करते हैं,
Nowadays, everyone is
ऐसा कौन है
performing
जो
karma.
कर्म नहीं करता?
Who is
कर्म करने के लिए तो सब
who does not
तत्पर हैं,
perform karma? Everyone is eager
ज्यादा
to
से ज्यादा
perform
कर्म
karma.
कर रहे हैं।
In fact, they are performing more karma than in
लेकिन
earlier times.
कर्म करने की एक कला है
But
जिसको यहाँ समझा
there
रहे
is an art of performing karma
हैं। उसका
which is
कारण
being
क्या है?
explained here.
कर्म जो है वो बंधन का
What is the
कारण है।
reason?
लोको अयम कर्म बंधन। लोग जो है वो कर्म के
Karma
बंधन
becomes the
में
cause
फंसे
of
हुए हैं।
bondage. People are caught up.
बंधन
They are bound up in karma.
अनेक प्रकार के हैं,
Bondage is of various
लेकिन जो
types.
मुख्य बंधन है वो कर्म
But
का
what is the
बंधन है।
primary bondage? That is of
और
karma.
मजे की बात यह है कि कर्म
And
का
the
बंधन जो
interesting
है
point
कर्म
is
करने से ही जाएगा।
that the bondage to karma will be
जैसे
cut off by
सांप
performing
काटने
karma
पर
only. Like
शरीर
if you are
पर जब
bit by
फूल
a
जाता
snake
है तो उसके लिए
and the
एंटीडोट
body
या
becomes
चिकित्सा होती है।
poisoned, so then the
तो विश्व
for
उसको
antidote
मारता है,
another
वो
type
उन्हीं
of
को
poison
मारता
is
है।
used. So poison kills
वैसे ही
poison.
कर्म जो है
Iron is
वो
used to cut
विद्या
iron.
है, उसकी
Similarly,
कला
karma
है।
is used to cut off karma. So Bhagavan is
उसकी कला
explaining the
बहुत
art of
साधारण सी है
performing
कि
karma
कर्म
here,
कर्मणो।
and that art is very
इसका
simple.
मतलब नहीं है कि कर्म
Just
जो
this
है वो
much
यज्ञ के
that
लिए कीजिए।
karma should be
भगवान
performed
विष्णु का
for
नाम है
yajna.
यज्ञ, वही विष्णु।
Yajna is the name of Bhagavan
और फिर
Vishnu.
उन्होंने बताया कि
And then he explained
ब्रह्मा जी
that
ने जो प्रजा बनाई, सहयज्ञ प्रजा सृष्टवा, तो
when
यज्ञ
Brahma
के साथ
created
ही
the praja, he created it
यज्ञ
with the
किया, तो
yajna.
फिर ये कर्म तो करना
Because
ही
he
है।
knew that these
और
people will
इससे
anyway
वो
perform
जी नहीं
karma
पाएंगे,
and then
इसलिए
they will become bound by
उन्होंने
that.
कृपा करके साथ में उस कर्म
So
को
mercifully,
इलाज औषधि भी दी, और
he
वो
along
है
with
यज्ञ।
karma he also gave
इसलिए
the
उन्होंने कहा कि यज्ञ
solution
करो और यज्ञ
to
से
the
ही आपकी
bondage, and
कामनाएं
that is
पूरी
yajna.
होगी।
So he said, perform
इसी
yajna
से
and that will fulfill your
भगवान कहते हैं कि
desires.
देवा
In the previous verse,
आहुतानि ने ते
he had
देवा
explained
भावयन्तु वः। क्या इस यज्ञ कर्म करने से देवता लोग प्रसन्न होंगे?
that if you perform yajna,
वो आपकी इच्छित
karma,
वस्तुओं को
then
देंगे।
devatas will be pleased and they
लेकिन
will
इच्छित
fulfill
वस्तु का
your
मतलब ये नहीं कि आप भोग
desires.
में पड़ के फिर
But that
रहेंगे।
does not mean that you
तो
again
इसलिए
fall into bhoga and
कहा
get
था
bound.
कि
So that's why what he had told
सर्वभावयन्तु
earlier,
शयः परमवाप्स्यते। यानी कि आपकी कामित वस्तुओं को, अपनी इच्छित वस्तुओं को इस प्रकार देंगे
meaning
कि आप उनका
your
भोग करते
desires
रहेंगे,
will be
बंधन में
fulfilled
ना
in
पड़े।
such a way that you will not be bound.
तो ये महत्वपूर्ण शिक्षा भगवान की है,
So this is
और
the
इसीलिए इस
important
श्लोक
teaching
में
of
वो कहते हैं
Bhagavan,
कि
and
स्टार्टिंग
that
में
is
ही
what he is
बोल
explaining
दिया,
here.
दास्यन्ते यज्ञ भाविताः तैर्दत्तान प्रदायेभ्यो यो भुंक्ते स्तेन एव सः। तो कहते हैं कि यज्ञ से प्रसन्न
Translation,
होकर
Sri Krishna
देवता जो
continued,
हैं तुम्हारी
pleased by the
इच्छित भगवत
yagyas,
वस्तु
the
देंगे।
devas will bestow upon you your
क्योंकि
desired
जो व्यक्ति
objects.
देवताओं को
Therefore,
भेंट दिए
one
बिना
who enjoys the
दिए
gifts
हुए
bestowed
उत्पादों
by
का
the devas
भोग करता है,
without making an offering to
वह
them in
अवश्य ही
return is verily a
चोर है।
thief.
तो चोर किसको वो कहते हैं?
So whom is he addressing as a thief?
चोर उसको कहते हैं कि जो वस्तु किसी
Who is
दूसरे के लिए
thief is
निर्धारित है
one
या किसी दूसरे की है, उसका आप बिना अनुमति के
without
उपयोग करें।
thief is one who without
तो
permission
इसीलिए
uses an
वो
object
चोर
that
है।
belongs to the other person. Such a
आपकी
person
वस्तु
is
अपनी
called
भी हो,
thief.
आप कह सकते हैं कि हम कैसे चोर हैं, हम तो मेहनत करके कमा रहे हैं,
So you may say
खेती
that
करते
why am I
हैं,
a thief? I am working hard
व्यापार करते
and I
हैं,
am earning money,
और उससे हमको जो
whether it is agriculture
धन
or
प्राप्त होता
business
है
or some
या
other
वस्तु प्राप्त
profession.
होती है, उनका
And
हम
when I
उपयोग
earn
करते हैं, तो हम
money,
कैसे
so
चोर
when
हैं?
I am using that money, I am enjoying
चोर
that.
तो
How
वो
can I be
होता है
called a
जो
thief?
दूसरे के
Thief
घर
is
से काम
one
ले ले,
who
दूसरे की संपत्ति को
takes
हड़प ले,
the property of some other person,
उसी को
he
चोर बोलते हैं।
captures the property
लेकिन
from
ऐसा
somebody
नहीं है,
else's house. So
वस्तु
it is
अगर
not like
आपकी
that.
भी है,
Even if it is your
यानी
object,
कि आपके
even if it
अधिकार में
is
है,
belonging to you,
लेकिन वो आपके लिए नहीं है,
still it is not for you.
उसका अगर आप भोग करते हैं
If you enjoy
तो आप
it,
चोर हैं।
then also you are a thief.
जैसे उदाहरण के
For
लिए
example,
मानो आप बैंक में काम करते हैं,
suppose you work in a bank
और बैंक में आप क्लर्क हैं या जो भी
and let's say
लिपिक
you are a
या जो
clerk
वहाँ काउंटर पर बैठता है, जो पैसा लेता है और देता है,
or sitting in
तो
the
वहाँ जो
counter
पैसा
who is
आ रहा
taking
है
money,
और
giving
जो
money.
पैसा आप
So the money that you
कस्टमर्स
are
को, ग्राहकों को
getting,
दे रहे हैं, तो उस पैसे पे तो आप ही का अधिकार है ना, तभी तो आप दे ले रहे हैं उसको। कोई दूसरा उसको हाथ नहीं लगा सकता।
So you have the adhikar on it, on
आपका
that
अधिकार
money
है लेकिन वो
to take
आपके लिए
and give
नहीं
it.
है।
But still that money is
जो
not for
आप
you.
में अधिकृत वस्तु है
Although you have the
वो आपके
adhikar
लिए नहीं है।
to give and take that, but still it is not meant for
आप
you.
एक प्रकार से उसके रक्षक हैं
You are a kind of a
और
trustee of that money,
जिसके लिए वो वस्तु है उसको आप दे सकते हैं।
and you can give that money
लेकिन
to
अगर
the
आप
person
उसका
to whom it
अपने
belongs.
लिए करने लगें तो
But
आप
if you
चोर माने जाएंगे,
start enjoying it for your own sake, then will you not be called a thief?
अपराध का केस चलेगा,
There will be
नौकरी से भी निकाल
legal
देंगे।
case will be filed against you. You may even be
ऐसे ही समझिए कि जो
expelled from the
वस्तुएं
job.
आपके पास हैं
Similarly, you have to
वो
understand that
वास्तव
those things
में
that you have,
आपको मिली
they
हैं या आपने जैसे भी प्राप्त की हैं उनका आपके ऊपर अधिकार है,
they have been given to
लेकिन
you.
ये
You have the
आवश्यक नहीं
adhikar,
है
but it is not
कि उनको
that
उपभोग करने का भी आपका
you
अधिकार
have the right
बन
to
गया
enjoy that
अपनी
also
मर्जी से।
according to your whims and fancies.
तो यहाँ पर ही लोग गलती करते
So
हैं।
this is where people make
जो
mistake.
लोग भगवान को नहीं मानते,
Those who do not accept
शास्त्र को नहीं
Bhagavan,
मानते,
those who do not accept
देवताओं को नहीं
Shastra,
मानते, वो
those
कहते हैं
who
कि
do not accept
हमें क्या लेना
Devata,
देना, हम तो अपनी मेहनत का
they
पैसा
say,
कमा रहे हैं और उससे खा रहे हैं,
what have I got
किसी
to
को क्या
do with
लेना।
these people? Why should
ऐसा
I
बोलते
share
हैं,
with anybody else?
लेकिन
This is my
उनकी ये
hard-earned
सोच
money.
बहुत गलत है,
But their thinking is
क्योंकि उनसे
completely
पूछा
wrong.
जाए कि आप सांस
Because
ले
if
रहे
you
हैं
ask them
तो
that
इसके
you
लिए
are
आपने कुछ
breathing,
पैसा दिया,
have you paid anything for that?
आप सूर्य की धूप का उपयोग
You
करके
are
अगर खेती
utilizing
करते हैं,
sunlight.
बारिश ना हो
If
तो
you are
अपना
doing agriculture and there
खेती
is
हो
no
जाएगी,
sunlight, there is no rainfall,
और जिस पृथ्वी पर
how
आप खेती कर रहे हैं क्या
your
वो आपने
crops will
बनाई
get
है?
destroyed?
अब अगर उसने आपने खरीदी भी है तो जिससे खरीदी है क्या वो वास्तव में उसकी थी?
Even if you have purchased the crops from somebody, did that
आपको
actually
पैदा होने
belong to
से
that
पहले ही थी
person?
ये? आप कहेंगे हमें अपने बाप से मिली है, उससे पहले भी थी, उससे पहले भी थी। तो वास्तव में इस सब पर किसी का
Actually,
अपना अस्तित्व अधिकार है नहीं।
nobody
आपको
has
मिली हुई है, इसका
right
उपयोग कीजिए, लेकिन
of
विधि
ownership
विधान
on
से
these objects. So if
ढंग
you
से
have
करें।
received these things, you should use
जो इस
them
बात को नहीं
according to the
मानता है वो
prescribed
चोर है,
principles.
तो
Otherwise,
उसके लिए उसको
you are a
दंड
thief
मिलेगा।
and then you will be punished.
फिर आप कहेंगे कि हमें क्यों
Then
दंड
you
मिल
may
रहा है,
say that why am I
मैंने
being
तो कुछ
punished?
गलत काम नहीं
Like
किया,
people say that I
ये
have not
समस्या
done
क्यों आ
anything
रही है?
wrong. Why am I suffering?
समस्या इसलिए आ रही है कि
You
आप
are
सोच रहे हैं कि
suffering
आप
because
बहुत
you are
धार्मिक
thinking
हैं,
that you have not
लेकिन
done
जो
anything
धार्मिक
wrong.
हैं
Those people who
वो
are
देखिए
very
धार्मिक इस
religious
प्रकार से
in the
बोलते हैं,
sense
झूठ
that
नहीं बोलते हैं,
they do not
ना
speak
काम करते
lie,
हैं,
they do their own work.
लेकिन
But
कोई यज्ञ इत्यादि, और यज्ञ का मतलब अग्नि में हवि प्रक्षेप करना ही नहीं है, इस तरह की कोई भी शास्त्रीय क्रिया नहीं करनी
yajna
है,
does not mean
तो उनको भी
only
चोरी समझ
pouring
जाएंगे।
ghee in the fire
आगे
sacrifice.
भगवान इस बात को
But if
और
you are not
गहराई
following
देंगे अगले
Shastra,
श्लोक में।
then also that person will be called a thief
तो
only.
जब तक हम इस बात को नहीं
So
समझते
until
हैं
and unless we
तो हम
understand
सोचते
this
रहते हैं कि
point,
हमें क्या
we keep
आवश्यकता है।
thinking that
ये
what
हमें
do
तर्क दिया जाता है
why
कि
do I need all
देवताओं
this?
की, भगवान की आवश्यकता तब थी जब
Those
विज्ञान
people
नहीं
who
था,
say that Devatas and
तभी वो
Bhagavan
सोच
were
समझते
needed
थे कि
when
बारिश
science
देवता
was
देते
not
हैं, ये
advanced.
करते हैं। अभी तो
Those
सब
people who
विज्ञान ने
say
पता लगा
that
लिया बारिश
rainfall
किस वजह
happens
से
due to
होती है,
Devatas, now we have
इसलिए
understood by
देवताओं की कोई
technology,
आवश्यकता
by
नहीं है।
scientific
तो ऐसा नहीं
advancement
है,
that how rainfall
उन्होंने
happens.
अगर पता
Now we
लगा
don't
लिया है
no need the
तो
Devatas.
उसका मतलब ये नहीं है
So
कि वो उसके
just because you
मालिक
have
हैं।
found out by science, it does
जैसे
not mean that now
यहाँ
you are
पर
the
घड़ी
owner.
मिलती है खाने के लिए,
Like for example, here
आपको ये पता ना हो
the bell
भोजन कहाँ
rings
बनता है,
for food for because it is time
लेकिन
for
घंटी
food.
बजती है, आपको
You
पता
may
लग
not
जाता
know
है कि
where it is being prepared, but because the
खाने के
bell
स्थान
rings,
पर,
you come
तो
for
आप
food.
कहें करे भगवान की कृपा से खाना मिल रहा है, फिर आपको पता लग
So
जाएगा
you
कि
may
ये
say
भगवान
that
की
I am
कृपा से
getting
फल
this
लगता
food
है,
by
हमारे लिए
Bhagwan's
नहीं।
mercy. Now
आप
later
कहेंगे
you
हमें अपने
find
घर
out
में
that
भगवान की कोई
actually the
जरूरत नहीं,
food is
खाना तो
coming
यहीं
from
से
the
आएगा।
kitchen. Then you may say that
तो इस
now I
प्रकार
don't
का
need
तो
to
इसका
know
मतलब
from
क्या है कि अब आपका उपभोग
that
समाप्त हो
Bhagwan is
गया।
giving this. I know it is coming
खाने
from the
का
kitchen,
कोई जो
but it is not like that
खाने
because
का सामान है उसको
in the
कोई
kitchen
खरीदता है,
also
बनाता
somebody
है,
is
पकाता है,
purchasing those items, somebody is
तो इसलिए
bringing,
आपको
somebody is
उत्तरदायित्व
cooking.
बनता है ना उसके प्रति।
So you have some
तो केवल
responsibilities
अगर हमने
towards
ये
those
पता लगा
people.
लिया कि सूर्य जो है उसकी गर्मी से
So just because you have found out that
बादल
by
ऐसे बनते
sunlight
हैं,
the clouds are
तो इसका
formed
मतलब अब हमें
and then the
भगवान
clouds
की
they
आवश्यकता
clash
नहीं
against
है,
each other,
देवता
there is
समाप्त हो गए।
rainfall. So does that mean now you don't
ऐसा
need the
नहीं है,
devatas?
वो प्रक्रिया तो अभी भी ऐसे ही है, देवता लोग अभी भी
The
हैं।
system is same only now also.
और
the
इसलिए
devatas are there,
उनके ऊपर पूरा
and
नियंत्रण नहीं है।
you do not have control over rainfall. Sometimes there will be excessive rainfall, sometimes there will be deficit of rainfall.
और उसकी प्रक्रिया को पता लगाना एक बात है, लेकिन वृष्टि
So
जो है
understanding the
वो
process
समय
of
पर हो,
rainfall is one thing,
हमारे
but
अनुकूल हो,
there should
इसके ऊपर
be
तो किसी का
timely rainfall. You cannot control that. You cannot control the
इसलिए जब
timing and the
देवता
amount of
प्रसन्न
rainfall.
हो जाएंगे तो प्रसन्न
That's why
होकर
here it is said that when the
आपको इष्ट
devatas
वस्तु
will be
देंगे।
pleased with you, they will
जहाँ इच्छित
fulfill
वस्तु
your
भोग करना,
desires,
इष्टान भोगन, तो भोग का मतलब फिर
your
वही है कि
desired
आपके शरीर
objects.
को आप
So here
सुखपूर्वक
Ishtan
उससे
Bhogan
भोग
is
करें।
used. Bhogan does not mean
इसको
that you
विधिवात
just
को यज्ञ
enjoy with them
के
as
रूप में
the way you like.
प्रयोग करना, जैसा आगे कहेंगे यज्ञ शिष्टासन संतो।
So here it means that they have to be used for
तो ये
yajna.
प्रक्रिया है कर्म बंधन से बचने की,
So this is the system
और
to remain
समाज
safe from the
सुचारू रूप
bondage
से
to
चल रहा है,
karma,
उसके लिए यहाँ
and
पर
so that
भगवान
society should continue to function in a smooth manner.
इसको समझना
That's what
आवश्यक है।
Bhagavan is explaining here.
और
It
जब
is
इसको
important to
नहीं
understand
मानेंगे
this.
तो फिर
If you
सब लोग
do
चोर
not
हैं।
understand this, if you do not follow this, then everyone will
तो अब
become a
ऐसा
thief.
आप समझिए कि एक समाज ऐसा
So you
है
can
जिसमें हर
now
एक व्यक्ति
understand
चोर है,
that now we have a
हर
society.
एक
We
व्यक्ति
have a
चोर है,
society where every person is a
तो क्या उस
thief.
समाज में शांति रहेगी?
Then will there be peace
क्या लोग सुखपूर्वक
in
जी
such a
सकेंगे ऐसे
society?
समाज में
Can
जहाँ
people
हर
live
व्यक्ति
happily in
चोरी कर
such a
रहा है
society where everyone
और चोरी
is a
करने की
thief
योजना बना रहा है?
or planning for theft?
तो वहाँ तो बड़ी अव्यवस्था हो जाएगी।
So there you will have complete
तो
chaos.
आज की स्थिति वास्तव में ऐसी
So
ही है।
today's situation is actually
अगर
like
इसको
this
आप
only.
आध्यात्मिक दृष्टि से
If you
देखें,
analyze it from
आज
the
का समाज
spiritual
जो है
point of
पूरा
view,
चोरों का समाज है,
today's society is a society
और
of
वास्तव में
thieves.
लोगों की मानसिकता भी ऐसी बनी
And
हुई है।
actually people's
मैंने एक
mentality is
संस्कृत
also
पुस्तक
like
पढ़ी
this
थी,
only. I had read a
किसी
true
एक
story
प्रोफेसर को
that some professor
एक मैनेजमेंट के स्कूल, भारत में
in
इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ
some
मैनेजमेंट है,
in
IIM,
India we have
बहुत
IIMs,
प्रसिद्ध
Indian
है
Institutes of
मैनेजमेंट के लिए।
Management. They are very famous for
तो
management
वहाँ
education.
एक प्रवचन के लिए उस
So
प्रोफेसर
a
को बुलाया गया
professor
था।
was invited for a
तो
lecture
प्रोफेसर
there.
बहुत चतुर था।
So the professor was very clever.
तो सबसे पहले जब वो
So first
वहाँ
of
बहुत
all,
प्रसिद्ध प्रोफेसर
and he
थे,
was a
जिसका
very
नाम था
famous professor, very well
मैनेजमेंट
known
मैनेजमेंट।
professor in the field of
तो वो
management.
जब आया तो
So
वहाँ
when
सभी
he
विद्यार्थी
arrived,
बैठे हुए थे,
all the
एमबीए के,
students
बड़े
were
उत्सुक थे
sitting
उसका
there,
प्रवचन सुनने के
very
लिए।
curious,
तो
excited
उसने
to
सबसे
hear
पहले
from him.
उनसे एक प्रश्न
So first
पूछा।
of all, he asked a
उसने कहा,
question
अच्छा
to the
मैं
students.
अपना
He
प्रवचन
said
आगे
that I
दूंगा, पहले मैं
will give
आपसे
my
एक प्रश्न
class. First
पूछना
of all, I
चाहता हूँ।
want to ask a question.
और एमबीए के जो विद्यार्थी होते हैं बहुत बुद्धिमान
And the
होते हैं,
MBA
उनका जो
students,
सिलेक्शन होता है वो
they
बहुत
are very
कठिन होता है।
intelligent. Their selection process is
तो
extremely
जो
tough.
उच्चतम विद्यार्थी
They
हैं वो जाते हैं इसके
the
लिए।
top, the cream of the
तो उसने कहा कि
student, the cream
अगर
quality
आप
gets selected
कहीं नौकरी कर रहे
in the
हैं
institute. So he
और
asked
आपको टैक्स
that
बचाना
if
है
you are
तो उसके लिए
working,
क्या तरीके अपनाए
if you
जा
are in a
सकते हैं।
job and you have to save tax,
तो हर
then
एक
what
विद्यार्थी
all
ने अपने
methods
तरीके
can you
बताने लगा
use?
कि
So
टैक्स कैसे
everybody
बचाया जा
started
सकता
giving
है।
answer how to save tax.
तो उस प्रोफेसर ने कहा कि
So
बहुत
the
बहुत
professor
धन्यवाद, आप
replied,
सबने
thank you very
बताया।
much.
बहुत बहुत उत्साह के साथ वो लोग बता रहे थे कि किस
With
प्रकार से
lot of
आपको टैक्स
excitement, the students were
बचाना है।
answering how
तो उसने
to
कहा
save
देखिए भारत
tax.
की ये
So he
मानसिकता है
said that, see, this
आप
is
सब
the
लोग
mentality in India.
मैनेजर
You
बनेंगे,
people will all
किसी
become
कंपनी के सीईओ
managers.
बनेंगे,
We will
और
become
आप
CEO
सब
of some
लोगों में बुद्धि
company.
यही चल रही है कि टैक्स को कैसे
And
चोरी
this
करें।
is your
उसने जो बताना
mentality,
कहा था वास्तव में
how
आप टैक्स
to
चोरी करो।
how to steal ta-
तो यानी कि
or
ये
tax.
एक
Although he was telling
असाधारण बात नहीं
saving,
है कि
but actually
टैक्स
it was
चोरी
about
कैसे करें।
stealing only. So this is has become a
तो इस
normal
समझिए कि
thing.
अगर सब लोग, आप लोगों की
How to
यही
steal
मानसिकता
tax.
है
So he
तो
said that
आपके
if
नीचे
this is
लोगों
your
की भी यही
mentality,
मानसिकता होगी, फिर
then
ये
those
देश
who are
कैसे
under
चलेगा।
you, they will also have the same
फिर
mentality.
लोग कहते
Then
हैं कि
how will
हमारे
this
देश में
country
भ्रष्टाचार है,
function? And then people
हमारे
say
देश में
that in
गड़बड़ी
our
है।
country there
तो
is
कहा
corruption,
जो लोग, आप सब
there is
लोग
no
वास्तव में
development.
नेता हो,
So he
समाज के
said that
नेता होंगे
you people will also
और
be
आप लोगों
at
की
some
मानसिकता
leadership
केवल चोरी
position in the
करने की है,
society, and your
तो
mentality is
आप
of
क्या
theft.
आशा करते हैं इस
Then
देश से।
what do you expect
तो सब लोग जो है
in this country?
नीचा सिर करके
So
बैठ गए थे।
the students, they
लेकिन
hung
ये
their head
मानसिकता ऐसी
down
है,
out of shame.
चोरी करना आजकल कोई भी बुरा नहीं माना जाता।
So nowadays this is considered
जहाँ
very
जिसको
normal.
मौका मिल जाए
People
तो
don't think
लगाओ।
it is wrong to steal.
अब वो बात अलग है कि वो मौका नहीं मिलता है,
Now it is another
तो
thing that
इसलिए
they may, if they don't get
नहीं
opportunity,
कर पाते हैं,
they are not
लेकिन
able
उसकी
to steal.
मानसिकता तो अंदर
But
है ही।
mentality is same only.
अब सीसीटीवी कैमरा लगा हुआ है इसलिए आप चोरी नहीं कर रहे, तो इसका मतलब आप
So
चोर
just
नहीं
because
हो।
there is a CCTV camera and you are not stealing, that
चोर ना
does that
होने का
mean you are
मतलब है
not a
कैमरा
thief?
लगा हो या ना हो, हमें अवसर मिले या ना मिले,
Thief
हम
means
चोरी नहीं
whether
करेंगे।
camera, not being
तो
a thief
ये
means whether camera is
आपकी
there or no, I will
ये
not
यज्ञ
steal.
वाली भावना समाप्त हो गई।
But the problem is now this
अब हर एक आदमी
mentality of
नीचे से
yajna
ऊपर तक
is
सोचता
finished.
है कि
There is
हम
no
कुछ
such
करें।
mentality.
चोरी करने का
From top
मतलब
to
क्या?
bottom,
असली
everybody
चोरी नहीं है,
thinks this
समझ
only,
लीजिए।
that how do I
हम नौकरी
steal,
करते हैं,
how
अब
to be a
हर
thief.
जिस
And
व्यक्ति ने
theft is
आपको
not
रखा
just
है वो
of
इसलिए तो आपको
money,
तनख्वाह दे रहा है,
theft is of
वो
time
इसलिए दे रहा है कि
also.
आप
If
आगे
you are in
चोरी
some
के लिए काम
profession,
करें।
your boss is
लेकिन आप
giving you
चाहते हैं कि उनको
salary
अगर 2
for
घंटा
working
काम
for
करना
8
पड़े तो 6
hours.
घंटा आप चोरी कर रहे हैं, नहीं कर रहे हैं?
So if you are trying to just work for 2 hours and remaining time
कॉमन
use for
बात है।
yourself, then are you not a thief? Th- This is a very
तो
simple
इस तरह की
something of
मानसिकता
common
हो
sense.
जाएगी
So when
तो
this
फिर
type
आप
of
इष्टान
mentality
भोगान
is there,
देवा तो प्राप्त नहीं होगा ना फिर आपको।
then how will you achieve that Ishtan Bhogan Deva?
इसलिए हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति में पहले से ही
So in the
सिखाया
Indian
जाता था
culture,
ये यज्ञ की
from
भावना।
beginning,
तो
this
मैंने पहले भी कहा
mentality
था
of
कि यज्ञ की
Yajna was
भावना का मतलब
inculcated.
केवल अग्नि में
And I told
आहुति
earlier
देने से भी
also
नहीं है,
that this mentality of Yajna does not
लेकिन
refer just
जिस
to
प्रकार से हमारे
pouring
अंदर
ghee in
देने की
the fire
भावना होनी चाहिए,
sacrifice.
जैसे हम लेते हैं वैसे देने का भी
But the mentality is
भावना
that
होनी
the way
चाहिए।
we are receiving, we also have the mentality
तो
of giving. That is the real mentality of Yajna.
हम दूसरों से तो चाहते हैं कि कोई हमारी चोरी ना करे।
We expect that nobody else should steal
अगर आप
whatever we
घर में
have.
नौकर है तो आप
If
नहीं
you have
चाहते ना कि
servants
नौकर आपकी
at
चोरी ना करे।
home, then obviously you don't want that they
आप
should steal
दूसरों से आशा
anything.
करते हैं कि दूसरे आपके
So
सामने
you
झूठ ना
expect
बोले,
from others that they should be
आशा
truthful.
करते हैं ना।
They should not be
दूसरा बोला तो
liars.
कहते रहे
If
तो बड़ा झूठा
somebody
आदमी है।
lies, then you say that this
आप
person
आशा
is a
करते हैं कि
liar.
दूसरा आपके ऊपर क्रोधित ना
You
हो,
expect that others should
फिर क्यों
not
हो?
be angry at you.
लेकिन क्या आप स्वयं ऐसा करते हैं कि आप क्रोधित ना होते हो, आप
But do
झूठ
you
ना बोलते
yourself
हो, आप
behave like
ईमानदार
that?
होते हो?
Do you yourself not become angry?
क्या
Do
ये
you
सब
yourself not
फंडा केवल
steal?
दूसरों ने लिया हुआ है, मेरे लिए नहीं है?
Is it following dharma? Is
हर
it
कोई
just
ऐसा
others'
सोचता है
responsibility, not mine?
कि दूसरे सब
Every
धार्मिक
person
बने,
is
मैं दूसरों को
thinking
कोई
that
आवश्यकता
others
नहीं।
should become dharmic, others should
आजकल
become
बहुत वीडियो
pious,
आते हैं साईं
religious,
बाबा,
but not me.
और
Nowadays,
साधुओं के
we
बारे
get
में
lot
वीडियो
of
बनाए जा रहे हैं कि
videos
सब मिथ्याचार
of
है, ये
fake
धर्म है
sadhus.
मिथ्याचार है, जो
People
भगवान ने कहा
speak
था
of fake
मिथ्याचार।
sadhus,
लेकिन क्या जो
hypocritical
लोग वीडियो
sadhus.
बना रहे हैं वो
But the
बहुत साधु
question
लोग
is,
हैं?
those who are making these videos, are
क्या
they
उनका
themselves
चरित्र
genuine sadhus?
उदात्त है,
Is
उज्जवल है?
their character very clean?
तो दूसरों के ऊपर आप उंगली उठा रहे हो, लेकिन
So you
अपने को
are
भी थोड़ा
pointing
देखिए
fingers at
कि मेरा
others,
चरित्र
but you
क्या
should
है।
point finger
अगर
at
आप दूसरों
yourself
से आशा
also.
करते हैं
You should analyze
कि
yourself
वो गलत
also.
काम ना
If
करें,
you expect that
वो
others should
धार्मिक
not
हों,
do
तो
anything
पहले
wrong,
आप
they should
स्वयं
be
उसमें
religious, then
पैमाना
you yourself
बनिए,
should also become an, first
आदर्श
of all, become an
बनिए,
example for that.
तभी
You
तो
should set
दूसरे
a
भी आपसे
standard
सीखेंगे। और
of high
दूसरों के
character.
ऊपर, लेकिन केवल आप वीडियो
Then
बनाते
only you
रहेंगे,
can,
उससे क्या
then
होगा?
only others will learn.
दूसरा वीडियो
Otherwise,
बनाएगा,
what will happen? You
उसमें
will
क्या
make
करेगा?
video, others will also make video.
लोग आपका देखते हैं तो दूसरा वाला भी ऐसे ही बनाएगा, उससे क्या होता है? फिर सबकी अनास्था
People
खत्म हो
just make
जाएगी,
videos of each other
किसी में
and
आस्था
nobody
नहीं
will have
रहेगी।
any faith
क्या
in
सभी
anybody,
साधु
in any
झूठे हैं?
sadhu. So is it that all, is it like all sadhus are fake? No, all sadhus are not fake.
तो हम स्वयं यज्ञ नहीं करना चाहते
So
हैं
we ourselves do
ताकि
not
उनके
want
बस
to
पे रह जाए
perform
कि
yajna, but we wish that
कि
others
मत करो,
perform
चोरी
yajna.
मत करो,
Do
काम
not
कीजिए।
steal, do not speak lie.
लेकिन यहाँ
Means perform
मैंने
yajna.
कहा था कि सहयज्ञ प्रजा सृष्टि,
But here
तो ये
it
हमारे
is said,
समाज की
Sahayagya Praja
भावना पहले
Srishtva.
थी इस
So
प्रकार की,
earlier in our society, this
लेकिन
was the
उसमें
mentality.
थोड़ी कमी आ गई है, तो उसको
Now it
सुधारना
has
चाहिए।
degenerated. So we should try to
महाभारत में
rectify
एक
that.
कथा आती है बहुत
In
सुंदर,
Mahabharata, there is
उसको
a beautiful
सुनेंगे तो
story.
आपको आश्चर्य
If
हो
you
जाएगा
hear
कि इस
that,
प्रकार के
you will be
लोग
surprised
हमारे देश
that
में
in
भी
our
हैं।
country, these type of people
और ये केवल
also
कथाएं नहीं, ये
existed.
वास्तविक
And these are not just
वास्तविकता है।
some imagination, these
तो
are
दो भाई
real
थे,
stories. So there were
एक का नाम था
two
हस्त,
brothers. One was
दूसरे का
Hasta,
नाम था लिखित,
other's name was Likhit,
और दोनों ही ऋषि थे।
and both were
वास्तव में
rishis.
दोनों की स्मृतियां भी हैं, जैसे
Actually, there are
मनुस्मृति है,
smritis in
मनुस्मृति है,
both of their
वैसे
names.
हस्त
There is
स्मृति भी
Hasta
है और लिखित
Smriti
स्मृति
and
भी
there
है।
is Likhit Smriti also.
तो ये वास्तविक कथा है,
So
वास्तविक
this is
दृश्य है।
real story.
और दोनों जंगल में रहते थे,
Both
और
were
उनके
living
अपने
in the
अपने आश्रम
forest
थे।
and they had their own hermitages, their own
तो
ashrams.
एक बार लिखित जो है
So once
वो अपने भाई से मिलने गया,
Likhit went to meet
हस्त
his
के
brother
पास,
Hasta
उसके आश्रम में।
in his ashram,
तो जब वो वहां पर गया तो
and
हस्त
when he
वहां
went
पर है
there,
नहीं।
then Hasta was not
जंगल में
present
गए थे
there.
कुछ लकड़ी वकड़ी
He
लेने के
might
लिए,
have been in the forest to
वहीं
bring
खरीद
some
करके कुछ
woods,
फल वगैरह लाने।
like people used to go to collect
तो
some
वो वहां
fruits,
बैठा हुआ
etc.
था।
So he was sitting
अब
there,
उसका जो आश्रम था
and
उसमें कुछ
in this
आम के पेड़ लगे
ashram
थे, आम के पेड़
there were
थे,
few
आम के।
mango trees,
वो समय था,
and it was the mango
वो बैठा
season.
हुआ था, उसको भूख
He was
लगी थी।
sitting there and he was hungry. He
तो
was
उसने
seated there. He was
आम
hungry,
तोड़ लिए और
and
उसको
he plucked 2 or 3 mangoes
उसने
from the trees.
भोजन किया आम का।
He ate those mangoes.
तो इतनी देर में उनके भाई जो
So
है
in the meantime, in this much time, his brother
हस्त वो वहां पर
Hasta,
आए।
he arrived there,
तो उन्होंने देखा कि
and
वो
he saw
आम खा रहे हैं।
that his brother is eating mangoes.
तो मिले उनसे,
So he
फिर
met the
उनसे
brother
पूछा
and
कि
he
आम
asked
क्या आपने साथ में लाए थे आम?
that did you bring these mangoes
तो
with
उन्होंने
you?
कहा नहीं, मैं अपने
So he
साथ
said,
नहीं
no, I
लाया,
did
मैंने
not
तो यहीं
bring
से
them.
पेड़ से
I
तोड़े
just
हैं।
plucked them from the trees here.
तो उन्होंने कहा पेड़ से तोड़े हैं, लेकिन ये
So he
पेड़
said,
तो
you have plucked them from the trees,
मेरा है।
but these trees belong to me.
तो उन्होंने कहा हाँ, ये तो मेरे को ही पता है
So
कि
he
आपका आश्रम है,
replied,
आप
yes,
मेरे
I
भाई
know
हो।
this is your ashram, but you are my brother.
तो उसने कहा हाँ, मैं आपका भाई हूँ,
So he replied that,
लेकिन
yes,
आपने
I
मेरी
am your
अनुमति के
brother,
बगैर ये
but still, without my
खाए
permission,
हैं,
you have
तो ये तो
eaten
चोरी है।
these mangoes. So this is also theft only.
क्योंकि ऐसे व्यक्ति ही स्मृति लिख सकते हैं।
Only these type of people are
जिसको
qualified
लॉ
to write
बनाना है, स्मृति
smritis.
का मतलब लॉ,
Smriti means law,
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। तो
constitution.
वो कितने धार्मिक होंगे,
So
मतलब
how
सही
much
उसको मानेंगे।
principled,
उन्होंने कहा
religious they must have been.
आप मेरे भाई हैं, आपने ले
So he
लिया,
said,
लेकिन
yes, you are
धर्म
my
के
brother,
दृष्टि
you
से
have
तो ये
taken, but
चोरी
from
है।
the point of dharma,
क्योंकि
this is
मेरा
theft,
ये पेड़ है और आपने
because
मेरी
this
अनुमति
tree
के
belongs
बगैर
to me,
इससे
and
फल लिया,
without my
खाया, तो ये तो
permission,
चोरी
you
हो
have
गई।
taken, you have eaten.
तो
So this is theft.
उसने लिखित ने उसका कोई प्रतिकार नहीं किया, उसने
So
कहा हाँ
Likhit, he
बात तो
did
आप
not
सही कह रहे हैं,
protest, and
ये
he
तो
said
चोरी
that,
है।
yes, you are right, this is theft.
तो उसने कहा कि आप इसलिए आए, मेरे को आप
So
दंड
he said
दीजिए इसके
that
लिए।
you should punish
वो
me
स्वयं कहने लगा अपने भाई से कि
for
आप
my
मैंने आपकी
theft.
चोरी की है, तो आप मेरे
I
को
have
दंड दीजिए।
stolen these mangoes, so you
तो
should
उसने कहा
punish me.
दंड देने
So
का
he said
अधिकार
that
मेरा नहीं
I
है,
do not have the right to give you
चोर को दंड
punishment.
देने का अधिकार राजा का होता
It
है।
is the king who has the right to punish the
तो
thief.
इसलिए आप राजा के पास जाइए
So you go to the king
और उनसे कहिए कि आप
and
चोर
tell
हैं,
him
आपने चोरी
that
की है,
you are a
आपको
thief
दंड दिया
and
जाए।
you should be punished.
तो वो राजा के पास गया।
So he went to the king.
तो राजा ने सोचा कि ऋषि है, मिलने आया, उसका
The
बहुत
king
आदर
thought
सत्कार
that
किया,
this
और
is
वास्तव में ऋषि
Rishi, he
था।
has come to meet me.
तो
So
उन्होंने
the
पूछा
king
कि
welcomed
आप
him,
कैसे पधारे, आपकी मैं क्या
and the king
सेवा
asked
करूं।
him, you have arrived here, how can
तो
I
उन्होंने
serve
कहा
you?
राजन
So
मैं
the
चोर
Rishi
हूँ।
said that, O king, I am a
तो
thief.
राजा को बहुत
So
आश्चर्य
the
हो
king
गया,
was
आश्चर्य में
surprised.
आप
You are a
बहुत
great
महान ऋषि
Rishi,
हैं,
how can you be a
नहीं
thief?
मैंने चोरी
So
की
he
है।
said, no, I have
तो उन्होंने
committed
हंसने लगे
theft.
कि आप कैसे
So
चोरी
the
कर
king
सकते हैं, मुझे
started
विश्वास ही नहीं
laughing
होता
that
कि आप
how
चोरी
is
कर
this
सकते हैं।
possible? How can you commit theft?
उसने कहा नहीं मैं चोर हूँ। तो
So
उन्होंने
the Rishi
पूछा क्या
said,
चोरी की
no,
है।
I am a thief.
तो उसने
So the
बताया कि
king
मैं
asked, what have
अपने
you
भाई के
stolen?
आश्रम में
So he
गया,
said that
उसके
I went to the ashram of
आश्रम
my
में
brother and
फल
without
फल
his
खाया।
permission I ate
तो
some
राजा हंसने लगा।
fruits. So the
उसने कहा
king
ये क्या
started
चोरी है,
laughing. What kind of theft is
तो
this?
आपके भाई हैं वो,
He is your
इसमें
brother.
क्या चोरी होगी। कहा
इसमें
नहीं
what is the
नहीं,
theft in
धर्मशास्त्र
this?
के अनुसार चोरी मानी
So the
जाती
Rishi
है,
said that no, according to Dharma
और
Shastra, this is
इसलिए
also
आप मुझे
theft
दंड
only.
दीजिए।
So you
तो
should
राजा ने
punish
कहा नहीं,
me.
इसमें अब दंड क्या देना
So
है,
the king said that
आ गया
what
आपने
punishment
इसको
should I give
स्वीकार
you?
कर लिया,
You
इतना
have
ही बहुत है।
accepted this much is enough.
तो उसने कहा नहीं, दंड तो
So the
आपको
Rishi
देना ही
said that no,
पड़ेगा,
you have to give me some punishment.
और विशेष तौर से मेरे
And
भाई का
especially,
आदेश
this
है,
is the instruction of my brother.
मैं स्वयं भी इसको मानता हूँ,
I also
और
accept
उसके ऊपर
this.
मेरे भाई ने मेरे को
And
आदेश दिया
on
है कि
top
मैं
of
आपके
that,
यहाँ
my
जा सकूँ,
brother has
इसलिए आप
also
दंड दे
instructed me
दीजिए।
that I should meet you and
तो
accept some
राजा बहुत
punishment from
असमंजस
you.
में पड़ा,
So the king was
और
confused,
बहुत उसको भय भी
and
हुआ
the king was
कि
scared
इतने
also
बड़े ऋषि को
that this is such a great rishi,
ऐसी जरा सी बात के लिए
and
दंड
for
देना
such a
तो
small
बहुत भारी है।
matter,
तो उसने कहा
if I
नहीं, मेरा
punish
तो आपका
him,
धर्म
then what will happen to me? So the rishi said that no, this is your dharma, you have to punish me. He asked the king that in your kingdom, what is the system for punishing thieves? So the king said that in our kingdom, if the thief is caught, then we cut off his hands. So the rishi said that, okay, you cut off my hands also. So the king was too much hesitating, but the rishi was adamant on this point, and the king got his hands chopped off. And the rishi was very pleased that he received punishment for his theft. And then he arrived at his brother's ashram, and then he showed that, see, both my hands have been chopped off, so I received the punishment for my theft. And his brother was also very pleased that what you did was correct. Otherwise, you this would have been a black spot on your character that you are a thief. So now you do one thing. Nearby there is a river. Go there, take bath, until then I'll arrange for your food, and then together we will have prasad. So the rishi went to the river to take bath, and when he entered the river and he came back, then he saw that he received both his hands back, same like what he was having earlier. So the rishi was surprised, and being very pleased, he came to the ashram, and then his brother said, see, this is the power of dharma. Today's society will not even believe that how can all this be possible. But this is a story in Mahabharata, and we have the smritis in the names of these people. That means these people, Hasta and Likhit, must have been existed, and if they have written smritis, they must have been highly religious. That's why we keep have Shraddha in these kathas. So from this we understand that in our society, dharma was given so much importance. So for that reason, Bhagavan is telling here. And he has added the word eva also here. That means don't think that he may or may not be thief. So what he means is that he is only a thief, nothing else. There is no doubt in that. That is why yajna is very essential. This is the purport here. So the objective, the goal of our shastras, the topmost goal, like we are studying in Sri Jiva Goswami Sandarbhas. So as he has said, explained that the prayojan is priti, and in priti you give. The essence of shastras, as explained by Sri Jiva Goswami, is prem, and prema means giving. Pring tarpan. So you do tarpan means you give. To please others, to give. So yajna is the first step in that ladder. And when you will become matured in yajna, then only you can reach till prema. So having this mentality of sharing, giving, helping others, donating, charity, this is the beginning. So this is in Karma Yoga also. In Bhakti Yoga, obviously it is there. In Bhakti Yoga, it exists in a very purified form. Here Bhagavan is talking of Karma Yoga. So even in Karma Yoga, yajna is given so much importance. So when you will have these type of samskaras, then how much easy it will be for you to do bhakti, because you will already be having such samskaras. That is why here it is said that the person who, without giving gifts, sharing with devatas, just uses the objects, he is definitely a thief. So we have to be careful of this point. We should remember this. like in Smriti Shastras, like if you study Manu Smriti, there it is explained that every person has five debts. Debts to the Rishi, to the Devas, to the Bhuta,
नृऋण
to a human being,
और पितृऋण,
and to the Pitri, the forefathers.
क्योंकि हमारा जीवन जो है केवल हम कोई संसार में है तो स्वतंत्र नहीं,
Because in this world, when we are not living independently. We depend on others.
इसलिए हम
That is
दूसरों के
why
आभारी हैं.
we should be grateful to
इसके
others.
लिए 5 महायज्ञों का प्रावधान है.
That is why there is a system of Pancha,
उसी के लिए
5
भगवान
Mahayagyas.
अगले श्लोक में
For that only, Bhagavan tells in next verse,
सनय संतो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल विषयी भुंजते ते अघम पापा ये पचन्ते आत्म कारणात्.
translation, the virtuous who partake of the remnants of Yajna are absolved of all reactions to their misdeeds. But those wrongdoers who cook food for their own gratification alone partake only of demerit, that is detrimental karma.
तो ऋग्वेद में भी ऐसा एक वाक्य आता है.
In Rigved also there is a statement like this,
कि जो स्वयं ही खाता है वो
that one who
पाप खाता है.
just eats for his own sake,
इनके जो
eats himself only, he is just eating sin.
नहीं खाता.
That means one who doesn't share with others, who doesn't do yajna.
अशिना संत, तो ऐसे लोगों को संत कहा जाता है.
So such people
इनके जो
who do
परमात्मा
yajna, they are called santa,
वो संत है.
means who accepts the existence of Paramatma.
और
He is a santa.
ये यज्ञ का प्रावधान हमारे यहाँ है.
So for that there is a system of yajna in our shastras.
स्मृति में 2 शब्द
In
आते हैं.
Manusmriti there are 2 words,
दूसरा आता है विघस. तो उनकी व्याख्या मनु
is Ambet and Vidhas, they are explained
के जो यज्ञ
by
शेष
Manu
रहता है,
that the remnants of yajna,
अन्न बचता
after yajna, the grains that remain, they are called amrita.
और जो अतिथि को खिला के फिर भोजन बचता
And
है,
that which remains after feeding the guest, that is called vighas.
तो मनु जी कहते हैं कि
So Manuji says
गृहस्थ को विशेष
that
तौर से
grihastha especially
और विघस अमृताशी विघसाशी होना चाहिए, नहीं तो
should perform yajna and should feed the
वो
guests
केवल पाप ही खाता.
and then accept the remnants. Otherwise,
तो पचंती
he is just taking sin.
पापा पाप पाप शब्द का प्रयोग यहाँ व्यक्ति के लिए किया गया है.
The word papa is used here
का मतलब
for the
पाप होता है.
person. Agha means pap.
तो जो व्यक्ति खाता है उसका नाम भी पाप ही है.
So the person who is eating, his name is also papa only.
वो भी पाप है, डबल पाप.
What he is eating is sin and he himself is also sin. That is double sin.
ये पचंती आत्म कारणात्. तो यहाँ तो भोजन के लिए कहा है केवल.
So here he has just told for
ये केवल भोजन
food,
तक ही सीमित नहीं है.
but this is not just limited to food.
भोजन पकाना है तो एक उपलक्षण मात्र है.
Cooking food here is just an upalakshan. It is just indicating
केवल ऐसा ही नहीं सोचना
others
चाहिए,
also.
ये सब मेरे लिए ही.
Means for any object we should not think that it is just for me only.
समाज में
Today's education
वो इसी प्रकार की है
is of this type only.
कि हमको यही सिखाया जाता है बचपन से ही कि
Children are just taught that everything is for me only.
तुम्हारे लिए ही है.
What I am earning, it is all for me only.
बचपन से ही कि आप जो
Earlier, this education was given from childhood that whatever you earn, some percentage of that should be given in charity. Earlier, people used to do that.
थे तो उसमें
If they were cooking food also, they used to take something from that as Bhut Bali.
दूसरे जीव जंतु हैं,
Bhut Bali means
हैं चींटे हैं,
like the other living entities
भोजन
like dogs, etc. Something should be fed to them also.
देवताओं के लिए जो भक्त लोग हैं वो भगवान का भोग लगाते हैं.
So the devotees, for the devatas, as far as devotees are concerned, they offer food to Bhagavan, and in Karma Yoga, they offer in the Agni.
ऋषि ऋण से मुक्त होने के लिए शास्त्र
To be free from the Rishi Rin, the debts to the sages,
अध्ययन करना, शास्त्र को
the method is to study Shastra and to teach Shastra to others. By doing this, he becomes free from the debts to the rishis.
यज्ञ करना उससे देव ऋण से मुक्त होता है।
And when yagyas are performed for the devatas, then one becomes free from the debts to the devas.
उनके लिए
And
श्राद्ध
for the
तर्पण
forefathers,
करना
shraddha and tarpan
तो
are
उससे
done
मुक्त होता है।
to become free from the debts to the
और
forefathers.
बलि इत्यादि जो भूत बलि, उसके भूत, और फिर नृयज्ञ अतिथि को भोजन
For the debts to the human beings,
तो इस प्रकार का
the method
विधान
to
है
get rid from those
स्मृति
debts, the
शास्त्र में।
method is to feed guest.
तो इनको बलि वैश्वदेव
This is
इत्यादि
explained in the Smriti Shastra.
कि विश्व में जो जितने भी देवता हैं और बलि जो भूत इत्यादि हैं, सबको आप भोजन कराइए। तो आज कि हमारी जो शिक्षा पद्धति है वो हमें ये चीजें
Today's
सिखाती
education system doesn't teach this system of
है। ये
yagya.
इस शिक्षा की एक कमी है
This is a defect
कि केवल
in the
पैसा अगर
education.
मैं कमा रहा हूँ, जितना
Today's
ज्यादा
education system is just about earning money. The more I earn, it is all for me only. I just use it for myself.
तो आज की शिक्षा हमें ये तो सिखाती है कि पैसा कमाओ,
Today's education is teaching how to earn money, but it is not teaching how to use that money.
जितना महत्व कमाने का है उतना ही फिर उसको किस प्रकार
Just
से
like
उपयोग करना
earning money is important, learning how to use that is also very important.
पड़ेगा।
Otherwise, that wealth will become the cause of bondage.
स्कूल जाता है, कॉलेज जाता
If
है,
somebody is going to the
पढ़ता है,
school or college,
पैसा
studying,
कमाता है, उसके
working
लिए भी
so
कमाना
hard,
पड़ता है,
and then working so much
और
hard
उसके
for
बाद
earning
उस
wealth
पैसे से वो
also,
और बंध जाता है,
and then he becomes more and more bound by that
कहानी
wealth.
कहाँ हुई।
So, how is this intelligent?
वास्तव में तो वो पैसा उसके लिए आनंद का कारण होना चाहिए।
That wealth should become the cause of
लेकिन देखा
happiness for
जाता है
him,
कि
but
वैसे
generally it is seen,
भौतिक तौर पर भी
even at the
लोग
material level,
पैसा कमाने के
people
लिए
work so hard for
बीमार
earning
हो
wealth,
जाते हैं।
they become sick
जो कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में है
in
और
the corporate world.
वहाँ पर सफल व्यक्ति हैं, तो
Those who are very
40-45
sick
की
there,
उम्र तक उनकी
very
जो
successful
डायबिटीज
there,
हो रही है, ब्लड
by the
प्रेशर
time
है,
they reach for age of 40 or
उसमें
45,
डिप्रेशन में
they
चले
start
जाते हैं,
suffering from
उसका
diabetes, depression,
परिवार पूरा टूट
blood
जाता है,
pressure, broken families,
आपस में अच्छे संबंध नहीं है,
no
तो
good
फिर आपने क्या किया?
relationships.
पैसा तो
Then
है
what did you achieve? You have
लेकिन
that
परिवार ही नहीं,
wealth, but you
आपको
don't have
स्वास्थ्य
your
ही नहीं।
family only, you don't have good health only.
हर चीज का मूल तो स्वास्थ्य ही है। धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष
The root of
मूलम उत्तमम।
all
केवल
this is, should be
आरोग्य
good
ही
health.
नहीं है
When you are not
तो
healthy
क्या क्या
only,
भोग करेंगे?
then what will you enjoy?
और आरोग्य भी हो
And even if
लेकिन
you are
परिवार नहीं
healthy,
है,
but if you do not have a good
सुसंबद्ध
family, or you have a family without
या
good
तलाक हो गया
relationship,
है,
or you are
तो
divorced,
उसमें फिर आनंद कहाँ?
then where is your happiness?
तो इसलिए ये शिक्षा
So that is why
भी होनी चाहिए
this education is
कि
also
आप
needed.
पैसा कमाइए, उसमें
You
कोई
earn wealth, there is no
रुकावट नहीं है,
problem in
उसमें
that.
कोई विरोध नहीं है,
There is
लेकिन
no
उसका
objection to that.
उपयोग कैसे
But
करना
how
है
to
कि आपका
use it
स्वास्थ्य ठीक
properly
रहे।
so that you maintain good health.
चाणक्य भी अर्थशास्त्र में
In
यही कहता है,
Arthashastra, Chanakya also says,
और वात्स्यायन भी अपने काम
and
सूत्र
in
में
Kama
यही कहते
Sutra,
हैं।
Vatsyayana also says,
दोनों ने ये बात लिखी है
both have written this,
कि आप पैसा कमाएं लेकिन
that
उससे
you
आपको
earn
भोग
wealth,
की हानि ना हो,
but your dharma should not decline,
भोग की हानि भी ना हो, मतलब एक दूसरे के
and your
हानि ना हो।
bhoga should also not decline, means
दोनों ने
they
कहा
should
कि
not
आपका
lead to each
धर्म अर्थ
other's
काम जो है
downfall.
वो इस प्रकार से होना चाहिए
Your dharma, artha,
कि ऐसा
kama
नहीं
should
कि
be
आप
in such
काम
a
तो
way
कर रहे हैं,
that it should not happen that if you are
करना तो
enjoying
है और
kama
अर्थ
and lose all your wealth. Do not enjoy in that way.
धार्मिक बन जाए,
Or
ऐसा
you just become
ऐसा काम
totally
नहीं करना।
irreligious. Do not enjoy this type of
और आप
karma.
पैसा कमा रहे हैं
And
आज
you are earning wealth,
तो वो भी ऐसा नहीं
so
होना
it
चाहिए
should
कि आप
not
भोग ही
be
ना कर सकें
in such a way that you
या
cannot have any
ईर्ष्या
bhoga
करें।
only, or you become irreligious.
अर्थशास्त्र भी और काम शास्त्र दोनों इस बात पे
Arthashastra and Kama Shastra both stress on
तो
this
ये
point.
शिक्षा हमारे समाज में आजकल नहीं दी जाती है
So
और ये बहुत
this
आवश्यक
education
है।
is not existing today,
अगर
but
ये
this is very important.
साधारण शिक्षा भी अगर समाज में दी जाए
If this basic
तो समाज
education
बहुत
can also be imparted in the
अच्छा बन
society,
सकता है,
then the
शांति से
society can become very
और
peaceful
प्रेमपूर्ण संबंध बन सकते हैं,
and people
लेकिन
can
केवल ये
have good
नहीं दिया जाता
relationship.
है और
But
केवल
because this
अर्थ को
teaching
ही
is not
दिया
important,
जाता है
is
और उसके बाद
imparted,
में काम
and only wealth is emphasized,
केवल
and after that
अर्थशास्त्र
only
और
calm and
संबंध
bhoga are
में
emphasized,
मनमुटाव होता है
then
और यही कर्म का बंधन है।
then health declines, relationships decline,
शिक्षा भगवान
So what
देते हैं
Bhagavan is
उसमें
teaching
ऐसा
here
नहीं है
is
कि इसका
practically
अर्थ
very
क्या था
useful.
यज्ञ वज्ञ
Although
करके,
we may think that what is the utility of
लेकिन
all
गुरु
this
ने कहा
today,
पहले यज्ञ
why do I
आपको
have to
करना
perform
है, यज्ञ
yajna?
हम कर्म बंधन है।
But as he
तो
had told
उसी का
earlier,
विस्तार यहाँ पर ये कर रहे हैं कि
what he
अगर आप यज्ञ
explained earlier, he is expanding on that
तो
only.
अर्थ क्या
That if you
होगा,
do not perform this
तो यज्ञ आप
yajna,
कष्ट
you
पाओगे।
will fall under
का मतलब ऐसा
bondage.
नहीं है कोई रस्सी से
Bondage
आपको
does not
बांध
mean
दिया,
that you are tied with
बंधे हुए
ropes,
हैं ना, जब
but that
आपकी
you
स्वास्थ्य ठीक
suffer.
नहीं है तो
But
आप
so it is as good as
बंधे हुए
bondage
हैं, आपके
only.
पास भागे
If
हैं।
you are not healthy, always you are taking
तो ये
medicines,
बंधन
running
है।
around to the doctor, then it is like bondage only.
तो इसलिए भगवान यहाँ पर शिक्षा
So
दे
that
रहे
is why
हैं
Bhagavan is
कि
teaching here.
आप यज्ञ शिष्टासिना, तो इसी को संत बोलते हैं।
This is called
जो
Santa.
इस प्रकार का बर्ताव करता है वही
Those
संत
who
है, वही
behave,
साधु है।
those who deal like this in the world, they are
हर एक
Sant or
व्यक्ति कर
Sadhu.
सकता है, कोई
And every
आवश्यकता नहीं है
person
इसकी
can
कि आपको
become this
किसी
type of
आश्रम में
Sant
जाके
or
रहना
Sadhu.
पड़ेगा।
It is not
तो ये
compulsory
कहते
for
हैं
you to go and live in some
एक
ashram
सर्व किल
for
विष।
this.
तो ऐसा व्यक्ति सब किल विष, सब दुष्कर्मों से, यानी कि जो
So such a
उसके
person,
संचित कर्म हैं उनसे भी मुक्त हो
he
जाएगा।
becomes free
जो पूर्व में उन्होंने जो गलत
from
कर्म
his
कार्य
Sanchit
किए
karma
हैं वो सब
also.
आगे आएगा,
All the karma that is
उनसे मुक्त हो
accumulated
जाएगा और
from
आगे
previous
कभी उसको कोई
lifetimes,
कर्म
which he
संचित नहीं
has
होगा।
to reap in future, that he will become free from that also. There are three types of karma: kriyamana,
प्रारब्ध
sanchit,
कर्म,
and prarabdha.
तो तीनों से मुक्त हो
So he will
जाएगा।
become free from all the
तो
three.
इतनी अच्छी बात बता रहे हैं यहाँ पर।
So he is
और ऐसे
giving
व्यक्ति
such a nice instruction,
बहुत आनंद से
and then such a person
जीवन
can live
बिताएगा।
very happily.
और नहीं तो
Otherwise,
वो पापी है, तो उसके लिए
if he is a
आत्मकारणात्,
thief,
आत्मकारणात् मतलब अपनी स्वार्थ बुद्धि से,
he will just live selfishly.
सेल्फ सेंटर्ड,
He will lead a self-centered life. He will always
तो उसके
focus
लिए
on
कोई
himself
शिक्षा की
only.
आवश्यकता नहीं है ना।
So for that you do not need any
हर
education.
एक व्यक्ति की अपने
Every
शरीर
person
में अहम बुद्धि होती है,
has the
वो
sense
सीखना नहीं
of
पड़ता है किसी से।
I-ness in his body.
शिक्षा तो
You do not have to
इसके
learn that.
ऑपोजिट में देनी पड़ती है,
Education has to be given for
इस
the
कैसे मुक्त होना
opposite
है,
thing, that is how to get
तो
rid
वो हमें शास्त्र सिखाता है।
of this I-ness in the body.
और ये ज्ञान केवल शास्त्र से ही
That
मिल
is
सकता
taught
है।
in Shastra, and it can be taught only by Shastra.
जो स्वाभाविक है कि हम अपने शरीर को अपना आत्मा समझते हैं, जो यहाँ कहते हैं
Considering
पचंती
ourselves to be the body
अपनी
is
आत्मा के
quite
लिए, मतलब अपने शरीर को
natural.
कोई आत्मा मानते हैं, तो उसी के लिए सब कुछ करना। पचंती का मतलब यहाँ केवल भोजन
And
पकाने
then
से
we
ही
do
नहीं,
everything
जो
for
भी
the
आप करें
body. Here Pachanti does not mean just cooking food, but it refers to any other activity.
जैसे वहाँ कहा ना, अनुकूल्येन कृष्ण अनुशीलनम, और यहाँ अनुकूल्येन मनो अनुशीलनम, आत्मा अनुशीलनम।
So like in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu it is said Anukulyena Krishnanushillanam, here it is
वो तो स्वाभाविक है,
Manushillanam, only for ourselves.
उसके लिए
That
कोई
is
ज्ञान की
natural.
आवश्यकता नहीं है।
We do not need any
चाहे कोई
education for
व्यक्ति हो,
that.
चाहे कोई
If whether a person is
बहुत बड़ा विज्ञानी
uneducated
हो,
or a great
तो स्वाभाविक,
scientist,
तो
this is
इससे
natural
मुक्त होने का ज्ञान
to think
भगवान
ourselves as
भगवत
the
गीता
body.
हमको सिखाती है।
Now, how to get rid of this?
तो इसलिए
That is taught in Bhagavad
इस पर
Gita.
हमें सोचना पड़ेगा।
So we will have to deliberate
तो इस
on that.
श्लोक में भगवान ने कहा था
So
कि वो
in
चोर है,
in the previous verse, Bhagavan
देश
said
के
that he
लिए
is a
है।
thief.
और चोर क्या करता है,
And what does a thief
उसके जो
do?
पैसा होता है वो पाप
Whatever
से
money he
वो,
has, it is all earned
उससे वो
by
जो भी खाता है
sinful
पीता है वो
means. So
पाप
then
होता है,
whatever he is
उसी को यहाँ
eating,
बता रहे हैं।
he is eating sin
तो
only.
जिस व्यक्ति
That
को
is what he is
इस
explaining
श्लोक में
here.
चोर कहा
The
था,
person who was referred to as
उस
thief in
व्यक्ति
the
का
previous verse,
फल, उस चोरी का क्या फल है,
what is the result
वो
of
यहाँ पर
that
वर्णन
theft
किया जा रहा है।
that he is explaining here?
तो ऐसा व्यक्ति जो है, अगर वो कुछ धर्म कार्य करता है,
So
तो
such
वो
a
ऐसा
person,
सोचता
if
है
he
कि मैं
performs some
कुछ
religious
पैसे कमा
activity,
लूँ
some people think
और उससे
that
फिर मैं
if
कोई
we
पाप
earn
कर्म
wealth
करूँ,
by some sinful means or wrong
तो
means,
उससे फिर मेरे
and
को
then I
कोई
give charity,
फल नहीं आएगा,
then
ऐसा
I
कुछ
will
नहीं
not
है।
have to suffer.
यानी कि आप
There
भगवान
is
को
nothing
भी
like
चोरी
that.
में हिस्सा दे
Because
रहे
then
हैं।
what is happening? You are sharing
इसका अर्थ
your
यही हुआ
sinfully earned wealth
कि आपने 100
with
रुपये
Bhagavan
कमाए,
also. Like if
10 रुपये
you
भगवान को दे
stole
दिए,
100
तो
rupees
आप
and you are
पुण्य
giving
करके
10
मुक्त हो
rupees to
जाएंगे।
Bhagavan, then you think that this
ऐसा
90
नहीं,
will
वो तो
be
भगवान तो देख
free
रहे हैं
from
ना कि ये
sin.
10 रुपये
So
लाए
no,
कहाँ से।
Bhagavan is seeing that this 10 rupees that you are giving to
तो
me,
इसलिए
how did you
इसको
earn
कृष्ण
that?
धन बोलते हैं।
That is why it is called Krishna Dhan.
धार्मिक तरीके से पैसा
That
कमाया
wealth
जाता है,
which
उसको
is
शुक्ल धन बोलते हैं। व्हाइट मनी
earned
अंग्रेजी में बोलते हैं ना,
in the
इंग्लिश में
proper
भी बोलते
way
हैं, ब्लैक
is
मनी
called
संस्कृत में
Shukla
बोलते हैं
Dhan, that
उसको
is white money.
कृष्ण धन,
And that which is earned
शुक्ल
unlawfully, that is called
धन।
that is called Krishna Dhana, that is black money.
तो मनु भी जी कहते हैं कि धार्मिक कृत्य जो है वो शुक्ल अर्जित धन से होने चाहिए.
So Manuji says that dharma should be performed by white money, not black money. By black money, if you are giving some charity, etc., you will not earn any dharma from that. The result will be that the person who is taking that, he will also be implicated in that. And then people say that why is becoming a fake sadhu. So you are only making him a fake sadhu because you are donating your black money to him. So obviously his mind will also become polluted by accepting that money. That is why earlier sadhus did not use to take money from anybody so easily. Like you see the photo of our Pandit Babaji here. He was an extremely renounced person. The king of Gwalior came to meet him. He was giving wealth. Pandit Babaji said that you get lost from here with all your wealth. I don't need. Because it is said in the Smriti that you should not eat food from the wealth of a king, because your sadhu mentality will become polluted. That is why earlier sadhus used to be very careful that what we should take from others, what we should not take, so that their mind should not become polluted. So our dharma shastras, they speak of this. So many rules have been created from whom you should take charity, from whom you should not take, where you should eat, where you should not eat. This is the reason why these rules were created. Like we discussed in the story of Hasta and Likit, like Likit, his hands were cut. So when now he will write Smriti, how much conscious, how much careful he will be while writing the rules, because he will remember that for my hands were chopped off for such a minor deviation. So that is why here Bhagavan is telling that how the person who is a thief, he eats sin, and the result of sin is suffering. Sukha is the result of punya or pious activity, and suffering is the result of sinful activity. Generally, we see that those who steal, who earn wealth unlawfully, they are living very happily, but actually they are not happy. If you analyze their personal lives, you will see that their mind is not peaceful at all. Their mind is very much disturbed. So they have this external wealth, but they do not have the inner wealth. Like wealth is of two types, outer and inner. So the real wealth is the inner one. So that is what we should obtain. And here Bhagavan is giving the formula for that only. So we will stop here, and if you have any question, you can ask.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी. यज्ञ संबंधित
Question related to yajna.
10.25 में यज्ञ नाम जप यज्ञस्मि.
In 10.25, when Bhagavan is telling yajna nam japa yagyosmi, and in Bhagavatam, Sankirtan yajna is glorified.
तो ये यज्ञ और संकीर्तन का दोनों को एक तो अलग अलग क्या ये मैं इसको दूसरे तरीके से समझने का प्रयास कर रहा हूँ कि एक भजनानंदी है एक गोष्ठानंदी है.
So what I am trying to understand is there is a Bhajananandi and there is a Goshthanandi. So counter question, where is it written there in Bhagavatam that there is a Bhajananandi and there is a Goshthanandi?
भी प्रचार किया जाता है.
So people preach like this, that is okay, but where is it written that Sankirtan is of two categories? Sankirtan is Goshti, Goshthanandi. Do you know what is the meaning of Goshti? Do you know?
गोष्ठी ज्यादातर तो हम तो ये सोचते हैं कि एक सभा होती है उसमें बोला जाता है.
सभा में बैठ के चर्चा करना.
So Goshti means to sit in a sabha, in a meeting and talk and discuss in that. So now my question is, how is Sankirtan related to that Goshti?
बैठ के शास्त्र चर्चा करना
If you sit and discuss Shastra like we are discussing Gita here, this is called Goshti.
अब जिस संकीर्तन की आप बात कर रहे हैं
The Sankirtan that you are talking of, what is the connection of that with this Goshti?
और जो लोग उसको गोष्ठानंदी बोलते हैं और जप को भजनानंदी बोलते
And
हैं,
those who
ऐसे ही करते हैं।
those who say Bhajananandi, Goshthyanandi, how do
गोष्ठी की तरह ही करते
how
हैं।
do they do japa? Their japa is also like a Goshti only. Then what is Bhajananandi? They do japa in the group, that like a Goshti.
तो ऐसे शब्द का कुछ अर्थ भी तो होना चाहिए।
So when you use some words, there should be some meaning also.
सॉरी, इसको ज़्यादातर जो लेक्चर्स में मैं पीछे जो सुने मैंने कि जो 10.25 में बोला है उसको तो बोल देते हैं कि
So what I have heard earlier in the lectures, they say that one who does japa alone, and what Bhagavad Gita is telling for japa, that is alone, and in Bhagavatam there is congregational chanting. So what is difference? Like one is sitting alone and doing japa, and then other is people coming together and doing sankirtan. What is the difference?
एक खराब कैसे हो गया?
How does one become good and the other one bad?
हाँ, इसमें बस यही बात को किया कि ये व्यक्ति सेल्फिश है, अपने लिए कर रहा है।
So they say that one who is just doing solitary japa he is selfish, and one who is doing sankirtan is doing welfare to others. So question, why do you say like that? How is that one who is doing sankirtan he is doing welfare to others? He is doing sankirtan for himself.
दोनों भगवान के लिए
Actually both are doing for Bhagavan only.
वो जप करता है तो वो भी
One who
भगवान
is
की
doing
प्रसन्नता के
japa,
लिए कर रहा है।
he is doing japa for the pleasure of Bhagavan, and one who is doing sankirtan, he is doing it for the pleasure of Bhagavan.
उद्देश्य लक्ष्य एक ही है।
So the goal is same. So how do you say that one is selfishness and the other is selflessness? Japa is an anga of bhakti, and kirtan is also anga of bhakti.
जप स्मरणांग है और कीर्तन कीर्तनांग, श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम। नवदा भक्ति में
If you analyze by Navada Bhakti, there is Smaran.
कीर्तन संकीर्तन।
So in Smaran you have japa, and in Kirtan there is Kirtan. So both are done for the pleasure of Bhagavan. So what is selfishness and selflessness? Difference? Why these two categories are being made here?
तो ये तो आप अपनी व्याख्या कर सकते हैं, लेकिन मूल
So you can analyze whatever way you like, but
तो आप अनेक प्रकार से कर सकते
you can analyze things in different way. But what I'm
तो भक्ति के अंग है,
analyzing here is what is original meaning.
उनमें तो ऐसा कोई
Both are angas of bhakti.
अब ऐसी व्याख्या आप करते हैं तो
Now if you want to analyze like that, you can analyze like that. Nobody can stop you.
भी यज्ञ संकीर्तन प्राय रेजंती सुमेधसा, इसमें भी कहा कि वो भगवान की पूजा करते हैं।
There also it is said that sankirtan is yajna. Yajanti word is used there.
वो भी भगवान के लिए,
that is also for Bhagavan.
और जप भी उसी के लिए भगवान,
And japa is also for Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself is telling.
10.25 है, उसमें भी यही बोला गया है कि यज्ञ नाम जप यज्ञ अस्मि, भाई इतना ही बोला है ना।
तो यो भी यज्ञ है, वो भी यज्ञ है।
So then in Gita also for japa also yajna word is used, and in Bhagavatam sankirtan also yajna. So both are for Bhagavan.
तो ऐसे ही है। और कुछ?
Well, you spoke about stealing also time, and sometimes devotees display the mentality that the goal or the purpose justifies the means, which means if you do something for Krishna, it doesn't matter if you steal a little bit time or the resources of the company. I myself did that when I was working in the company. Now I did all kinds of stuff there for seva. So how is that to be considered? Is that also?
From dharma point of view, it is not good. Now, from param dharma point of view, you can say that. But from dharma point of view, it is not good. Because after all, the person who is paying you, yeah, then he expects that you do that.
Of course, I could also say, I justified it that I work so efficiently and quick, and other people are just so slow and doing all kind of other things. They go out to smoke and this and that.
Yeah, that is okay. If you can balance, if you can do your what you have been assigned to do,
yes, that's what,
then it is fine.
यूट्यूब से एक प्रश्न है, यदि कोई मुझे नुकसान पहुंचाता है तो क्या मुझे इसे कर्म की तरह देखना चाहिए? द्रौपदी का अपमान किया गया था, क्या वह कर्म था?
When Draupadi was being insulted, was that karma?
जानकर किए गए व्यवहार के बीच में अंतर कैसे जाने? यह कैसे समझें कि कब हमें सहन करना चाहिए?
How do we understand when we should tolerate?
तो ये तो हर एक जो स्थिति होगी उसको
Answer.
देखना पड़ेगा.
These things have to be analyzed on case by case basis. You can't say that what is happening to me is the result of the previous karma or new karma, because everything is not just as the result of purva karma. You do new karma also. So there is no method to understand that. What is the reason? You just have to keep your mind balanced and work. And the one way of keeping it balanced is that if something wrong is happening to me, then I think that this is the result of my previous life's karma, and that helps us to keep our mind balanced. But that does not mean that we just keep tolerating. If I have the capacity and I can save myself from that, I should do. But there are some situations where you just can't do anything. So for that, Bhagavan says, that what you cannot change, what is not under your control, don't worry about that. But the mind becomes disturbed. So one way of keeping it balanced is to understand that this is my previous life's karma. That helps you to keep your mind balanced.
प्रश्न है,
Next question.
लोग पाप कर्मों के लिए बहुत कठिन
Earlier, the kings used to give very strict punishment for sinful activities. Was it like the Sharia law, what we have in Islam? So answer, yeah, some rules were there which were very strict. But what was the result of that? The result was that in the society, the other people, when they saw that such strict punishment was being given, then they were abstaining from doing the wrong activities. Nowadays, people are not afraid of committing aparadh, especially in India. There are two reasons for that. One is the result of the aparadh that comes very late. Result of the crime is given very late. It will take many years for judiciary to give the judgment. But when you get the result also, verdict also, then it is so relaxed compared to the intensity of the crime. People don't worry about that. So earlier, the result, the punishments were very strict. Now who gets the punishment? People don't even come to know about that. That is why nobody has any fear. So there is a rule that out of fear of punishment, people abstain from doing the wrong activities, because people have this nature of doing wrong activities generally. So in order to abstain them, keep them away from these sinful activities, this system of punishment was there. That's why if you study Chanakya Niti, Arthashastra, then he has placed a lot of emphasis on punishment. If there is no punishment, there will be complete chaos. And it happens, we see that when government is not giving any punishment, like what you see now happening in Bangladesh, Hindus are being killed so mercilessly, and women are being tortured, like you saw what happened in that Hamas Israel case. Like that, these things are happening now in Bangladesh. So why is it happening? Because the government is not doing anything. The police is not doing anything. So when people do not have any fear of punishment, then this type of crimes they happen. This is why punishments were very strict earlier.
नारायण जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछिए.
Radhe Radhe Guru Maharaj. Am I audible?
Yes.
Maharaj, my question is that you gave the example of how sadhus of old times would not accept money from, say, people like kings. But I'm trying to understand, the question is, how can, in today's day and age, every single paisa that is earned is on the principle of himsa? Because the country's tax structure itself is built on himsa. You know, there are many codes which are built around the principle of exploitation.
Yes.
So my question is, how can somebody, I'm not, first of all, this poses two challenges. One is, how does the sadhu actually, the sadhus also have to survive. So, and it is the duty of people to support them. So I'm not going to ask how they discern it, but I'm mostly asking, how can somebody who is giving, how can they actually mold their life, and what is the, and how do they actually earn and operate in a way that they qualify themselves to actually give? And that's really my question. The qualification of a giver is what I'm trying to understand. Because I don't see a way of earning money without performing himsa. Not just for my profession, this is true for almost any profession that I can think of. Even if you're a teacher, you're a...
So I don't know, you are saying teacher. So suppose somebody is a teacher and he's getting his salary, say 50,000 rupees per month. And he gives charity from that. So what is hinsa in that? I don't know. I mean, maybe you can explain.
But even if somebody is earning that money, the money source is coming from somebody's parent who may have earned it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And even if somebody earns the 50,000, he still has to pay some corporate tax or some tax to the government. So the minute you give that money to some other authority, you knowingly or unknowingly you are participating in that crime. Take your own constituency, Mathura for example, right? There is thousands of crores of ghapla that is happening every day. All the sadhus who are paying some tax or another, they are also supporting it in some way, no?
Yeah, so the thing is this, at present the situation is like that. Previously it was not democracy. There were kings. And kings, what is the main function of king is to maintain dharma. That is his main function. Most important function of the king was to maintain dharma. So they took care of the dharma. Now when democracy is there, it is secular state, which means that dharma can go to hell. There is no concern of the state government about dharma, rather they are taking money even from the temples. So now it is the duty of the sadhus to do something about it. They are the only one who are doing something about dharma. No one else is doing anything. Although people are making all kinds of videos, dhongi sadhu, this sadhu, that sadhu. Many videos float. They also come to me. I watch them. So there is some truth in them, but the same sadhus who are being posed as dhongis and this and that, they are also doing something good. And that's why some dharma is there in the society, otherwise there will be nothing. Absolutely. So now they have to accept money. It is true, whatever you have said is true, therefore this also corrupts their mind and there is no way to discriminate it. The only possibility is, okay, I don't take anything from anybody, but then you cannot do much. So if you want to do something, you have to accept. So then the only way you can protect, a sadhu can protect himself, is that he should be sincere about the use of the money. There is actually a statement like that in Manusmriti. I don't remember the sloka, but it says that even if somebody steals the money and gives it to a sadhu, then he can take it, but he should not misuse it for his own pleasure. If he utilizes, then he is not going to incur any sin in that. It's written, Manu himself says. Because money was always like that. There was always, you see, this whole world subsists on hinsa. Bhagavatam himself says, Ahasto sahasthanam, apados chatuspadam, falgu tatra mehetam, jivo jivasya jivanam. That those who do not have hand, they are at the mercy of those who have hands. Those who do not have legs, they are at the mercy of those who have legs. And falgu tatra mehetam, those who are powerful, they exploit the weak. This is the principle of this world, that one living entity subsists on another living entity. But if the intention is proper, Krishna gives solution to this. So many times I have referred to this sloka where he says that yasya naham krito bhavo buddhir yasya nilipate hatvapi saiman lokan nahantirna nibandhate. That one who does not have the sense of doership, then he is not implicated in it. Even if he kills, now killing is the ultimate extreme, what to speak of just taking some money. So therefore, like Malati asked the question that stealing time while working in the office. So the point is that first I have to speak about what is the principle of dharma. If I don't speak that, then doing a dharmic thing is just natural, that's what I am saying. Then you will always find some rationalization to your adharmic. Because it is not easy for someone to do something like that and not have the sense of doership and actually have full dedication only for the sake of seva. That's why I said that in param dharma nayam kinkri na rini cha rajan gatva mukundam pariharta kirtam. That if you actually take complete shelter of Krishna, then you are free from that. That's what he's saying, sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. But it has to be like that. The problem comes when we hear this type of statements and then we try to rationalize our wrong acts. So that's why first step is to make the basis as dharma very strong. And then once you are there, then sarvadharman parityajya. But if I do not even have dharma, what is the parityajya there? What is that I will going to give up? I have already given up. So there when he says sarvadharman parityajya, it also means sarv adharman parityajya. Dharma is an uplakshana of adharma also. But people only talk about dharma and not adharma. So all this dharma is complicated. Krishna as himself will say, Gehana karmano gati, kim karmeti akarmeti, kaviyapyatra mohita, tatte karm pramakshami, yas gyatva moksha se subhat. And dharmasya tattvam nihitam gohaya, mahajano yena gata sapanta. It's not that easy to understand. But we should first know what are the basic principles of dharma. We should know them and try to stick them as much as possible. Then we can think of going beyond that. If we have not ingrained dharma, then what happens that we do a dharma and then we try to use such statements to rationalize ourselves. So that's where the difficulty comes. So therefore these types of stories are there in Mahabharata. Why they are repeatedly like the story of Hasta and Likhita? It's a very extreme example that you cannot even take a fruit from your brother's tree. And it was not that brother was doing some farming or something, that he is going to sell it and therefore in just a mango tree, the mangoes are going to fall down anyway. But just to show the standard of dharma, so that it gets inculcated in our brain, we get the samskara for it. So that has to be kept in mind.
Yeah. Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, I have just asked one point, just one follow-up to that. This is actually a question from my wife. See, basically, many times when we accept service, what has happened is in India, there is a conspiracy against Hindus. Like if you look at the Waqf board, they are trying to usurp land everywhere, especially in where you are from, in Uttar Pradesh. And even if you look at professions, they are widely taken over by a lot of Muslims. And my wife's question is this: she has a fundamental problem buying groceries and fruits and whatnot from vegetables or from people who are Islamic vendors. And she says that by doing that, we are very naturally just supporting adharmic acts, because ultimately the person is going to go and do things and whatnot. In such cases, what is the right way to view it? You know?
Yeah, right ways it is true that if there are people who are working against our dharma, then it is our duty not to strengthen them as much as possible. It may not be always possible, but if it is in our means, then we should do that. There is nothing wrong with it, because they are doing it.
Yeah.
So the problem with Hindus is that they have become very weak and callous and don't have any vision at all. And they think God will take care. But God is, even in English they say God helps those who help themselves. So this world is actually like a forest. Think of this like a forest, like it used to be in the olden days where tribes were living. It's still the same. Although it looks like that we have organized dharma, organized countries and this and that, but when you study them, then you see that there are certain people who are controlling it. It is the same thing. So if we do not wake up to this, we will be decimated for sure. There is no doubt about it, because they have a very organized plan. I mean, Bangladesh is a living example. Now, no one speaks about it. If any small thing happens against them, it is news all over the world. But what is happening against Hindus? Bangladesh is not a very old country. Bangladesh became Bangladesh because of India in 1971. So that is how many? Some 40 years, 50 years. There were 24 Hindus at that time, 24%. Now there are only 8%. And soon probably there will be no Hindus. Like in Afghanistan, there is only 40 Hindus remaining now. Only 40, that is because there are some Hindu temples and some Gurdwaras. So these are people who are just taking care of that. By the grace of the government, they are allowed to still maintain it. But there is no Hindus there. They are all killed or they ran away from there. Same thing is happening in Pakistan. Same thing has now started in Bangladesh. And then it is going to happen very soon in India. They are very openly saying. Yesterday, this is probably deviation, I saw one video. One 12-year-old boy is standing and one guy is interviewing him, and he is openly saying that I want to demolish the Ram temple in Ayodhya and build a mosque there. And he is fearlessly saying, there are all Hindus standing around him. He is not afraid. You try to say this about a mosque in the midst of Muslims, they will lynch you to death right there. You will not come alive if you said anything like this. So this is happening. So if Hindus do not wake up, then you are finished. They are throwing them out from UK now. Muslims are throwing Hindus out from there. No, this is happening it will happen in Europe also. So now it does not mean that all Muslims are like that, but it doesn't matter if there are 50-20% of the Muslims who are like that, other 80% who are nice ones, they don't say anything. So it doesn't matter if they are not like that. Because what matters is these 20%. So maybe only 20% who are doing this, but that's good enough. Okay.
प्रश्न है, यज्ञ में जब आहुति दी जाती है तो यह विश्वास कैसे हो कि आहुति
Question: when ahuti is given in the yajna, how do we get how do we understand that devatas are actually getting how do we get that faith?
अब आपका शास्त्र में विश्वास नहीं है तो आहुति दे
So answer: when you don't have faith in Shastra, why are you giving the ahuti itself? Why are you doing the fire sacrifice itself? This point is from Shastra. How did you know of yajna? That is from Shastra. So the Shastra that is telling you to do fire sacrifice, keep faith in that. And if you do not have faith in that, why are you at all performing the fire sacrifice itself?
विश्वास की बात है, जब श्रद्धा ही नहीं है, अश्रद्धया होतम दत्तम तपस्तप्तम कृतम चेत असदित उच्यते पार्थ है। भगवान कहते हैं वो तो असत है, यज्ञ करो उसमें श्रद्धा ही नहीं है।
प्रश्न है, एक व्यक्ति जो अपने राग और द्वेष के परिणाम को त्याग
Question: a person who gives up
भक्ति किए मुक्त हो सकता
the
है?
result of raga dvesh, how can he become mukti? How can he become free? Without bhakti, he cannot give it up. There is no such formula to give up raga dvesh without bhakti.
नवद्वीप जी का प्रश्न है,
Next question: is it possible to be absolutely truthful? In contemporary society, relationships such as between ruler and subordinate, employees and employers, buyers and sellers, students, teachers and educational institutions often seem fraught with
संस्था में भी
dishonesty.
बहुत सारी बेईमानी देखी जाती है और ये भी पाया जाता
It appears that even those who wish to remain truthful may feel compelled to act unethically in an environment where exploitation is rampant.
तो ऐसी चुनौतियों से निपटने तथा ईमानदारी
What advice would you offer to navigate such challenges and maintain integrity? If one is truthful to sadhus, would this be sufficient in this day and age?
अब आपका पहला प्रश्न है, क्या ये संभव है कि कोई व्यक्ति सत्यवादी हो सकता है?
So your question was, is it possible to be truthful? So why is it not possible?
अगर आप सत्यवादी होंगे तो आपको समस्याओं से जूझना
Now, if you are truthful, you may have to deal with challenges. King Harishchandra also had to deal with that. King Yudhishthir also had to deal with that. That is another point. If you are not willing to deal with those challenges, that is another point. But telling that it is not possible, I don't accept that.
समाज में व्यवहार करना चाहते हैं,
Now, how you want to deal in society, that is up to you.
गुरु
But
के साथ में सत्यवादी
at least basic minimum, you should be truthful to the Guru.
कम से कम अपने जीवन में ऐसा रखना चाहिए जहाँ आपको सत्यता से व्यवहार करना है, वो गुरु है।
Guru should be the one at least with whom you should deal absolutely truthfully.
तो भक्ति मार्ग में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण यही है।
So in bhakti, this is most important.
उत्कर्ष जी का प्रश्न है कि मेरा प्रश्न धर्म से संबंधित है।
Next question. My question is related to dharma. Nowadays, people, according to their liking, they break the rules, twist the rules of dharma, doing intercaste marriages. We see this among devotees also,
वह ऐसा कहते हैं कि भक्ति को केंद्र में रखकर हम
that keeping bhakti in the center, we are doing intercaste marriage. So, how is this correct?
मतलब आप अंतरजातीय विवाह की बात कर रहे हैं, क्या बात?
So, what is your question? Are you talking about intercaste marriage? Marriage between different jatis.
धर्म को तोड़ मरोड़ के व्याख्या करने से संबंध में, अंतरजातीय विवाह करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए उसके संबंध में।
Your question is about people twisting the rules of dharma or marriage between different jatis.
समय तो ये अच्छा है,
So answer, if there is marriage among different
क्योंकि इसके पीछे बहुत बड़ी
jatis, actually it is good to have marriage in the same jati only. This is quite scientific if you understand DNA how it works.
कैसे स्वभाव बनता है, क्योंकि आजकल का स्वभाव का पैमाना DNA ही कोई समझिए आप।
And nowadays swabhav means you understand by DNA only.
तो
So there is a great science behind that.
अच्छा है कि आप
So
अपनी जाति में ही विवाह
best is to get married in the same jati itself.
के लिए व्याख्या तो ढूंढ ही लेंगे, मैंने
But anything that you want to do, you can always find out
वो शास्त्र
some rationalization for that,
निकालना चाहते हैं।
because our mind can find whatever it likes from Shastra.
चलो प्रार्थना श्लोक। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजंघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपापप्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परं हरि ओम तत्सत्।